Okay, let's talk about what the subject of a sentence is. The subject of a sentence is not necessarily what the sentence is about, which is a definition you will read sometimes. Let's look at what subjects actually are. The simple subject of a sentence, and you have to be able to find the simple subject. The simple subject is always going to be a noun or a pronoun, and remember that gerunds, words that end in ing, like running and swimming, look like verbs, but sometimes they are performing the job of a noun. So a simple subject is always a noun or a pronoun. Let's forget about this part for a minute. The simple subject is performing the action of the verb. Who did something? Who or what did something in this sentence? Vehicles. What did the vehicles do? They began. Sometimes you'll have two or more subjects doing something in the same sentence, and they might be doing the same thing. So you got these two little cars, right? That I can't remember. Were they on Mars or something? Or the moon? I can't remember. But anyway, Spirit and Opportunity landed. This is the subject, simple subject, and they both perform the action of the same verb, landed. In imperative sentences, remember, these are off limits. The you is understood. It is unstated, but it's there. If you start a sentence with a verb, and you can point at somebody when you say it, and you're telling them what to do not drink and drive. Do your homework. Listen to me. Those are imperative sentences, and those are not allowed because the subject is you, and you is just not allowed in formal compositions. You can use I, me, and my all you want to. And for some teachers, that's called first person. And for some teachers, the word I and me and my, as first person pronouns are not allowed. But for me, they're fine. So the simple subject, just forget that for a minute. The simple subject is who or what did the action. The vehicles landed. Simple subject, simple predicate. Subject and verb. Subject and verb. These are describing the subject. These are talking about the verb. Who did something in this sentence? The scientists and the engineers. Now this is a complicated situation, which this book gives a lot of those. The power of scientists and engineers jumps into this word, who. So who is the same thing as scientists and engineers. Since this is plural, the word who is also plural. That could come into play in another situation, but not in this one. I just wanted you to know that. Scientists and engineers is your simple subject. What did they do? They cheered. They also designed. So don't get that wrong. But the scientists and engineers cheered. This little phrase here is working to describe the scientists and engineers, which is why the book is not identifying this as a verb. Okay. Who or what did something in this sentence? Storms. These are descriptive words, but whatever. Storms. And what did the storms do? They restricted. Subject and verb. When you have questions, a lot of times the subject will split your verb in half. Rovers did find. Subject, verb, verb. Remember, those helping verbs can combine with main verbs to make verb phrases. And then subject, two items being your subject, and then there's that be verb right there that's functioning as your verb. On occasion, and hey, the verb is where it is. You can't force it to be somewhere. This is a prepositional phrase. Nothing in here is going to be your subject and verb. What emerged? What Emerged means to come out. What emerged? The rover. Simple subject, simple predicate, aka the verb. Now, I'm so glad I went to the bottom of this page. If you start a sentence with here or there, these here and there, those words will never, ever be the subject of the sentence. They're sitting where the subject usually sits, but they are not the subject. Here's your verb, the little be verb, are. What are? Vehicles are, and then here's roaming. Roaming goes with it. Vehicles are roaming. A lot of times when you have an ing verb, if it's verbing, it's going with that be verb right there. They like to hang out together a lot. Okay, that's the end of this one.